crypto nation and mining family, what's going on? What up, what up, what up? All you happy hashers out there. As we're waiting for people to kind of slide on in, I know I didn't set up the stream very early. I was kind of last minute with it, and yeah, I was doing yard work today. Some more of it. So if anybody is going to be interested in this at any point in time, I will be doing some videos, everything that I've been doing around the house. It's not all about just investing in yourself and growing your mining farm, but you should be also growing your own food. And basically decentralizing your own food sources and being self-reliant. This way you can trust that you fed them the best things, or you gave your plants the right stuff, no chemicals. You got chickens like me, you're going to give them more organic foods and stuff like that, and allow them to eat bugs. It's like I'll eat the items or the animals that eat the bugs. That sounds like a great trade-off. So I will be doing some videos on that, basically around my property. I have set up 3 different gardening areas where I'm getting the most amount of light. A little bit also was this is like the front of my house. That's the street right there. And I basically put a really nice trick flower box up in there that's also going to be allowing me to grow some more food. I'll have carrots and basil and radishes in there. So yeah, cool stuff. I hopefully everything works out great. And then today I was setting up a compost area. Basically going to have compost in 3 sections, and that will allow me to put everything in, let it break down, and then once it starts to break down, you're supposed to flip it. You're supposed to flip your compost, allow it to get some more air in there, and allow it to get some more heat back into it, and it'll finish breaking it down, and then you can move it over into the 3rd area where it's just pure compost, all the good microbials and all the good stuff you want. Yeah, buddy. So that's pretty much what I've been doing. It's the reason why you haven't seen me working out in the morning, because I've been working out basically in the garden. Today I was slinging a sledgehammer around, driving stakes into the ground. I feel pretty ripped from that. And I feel pretty good on the idea that I was able to sit there and take the sledge and, very controlled, driving spikes in. And I didn't feel dead doing that with 8 spikes. So, my 40 some odd year old butt can still sit there and do some serious stuff all by my lonesome. So, guys, if you guys are interested in that stuff, it's basically a little side thing that I got going on lately. For anybody who's new here, it's basically like homestead editions, being somewhat self-reliant, growing some of your own food here. It's like I just got baby chicks. I didn't do a week 4, but I'll make up for it this week and do a little bit of a better video. I've got something coming in for the Chunkins, and I'll bring you guys along with that. Shall be interesting. So if you guys are interested in that stuff, certainly smash that lizardy like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff. You guys know what to do. So while I'm waiting for awesome people to come on in here, let's go ahead and get into market related things. So here we got one of my favorite places to get some data. You see how I say it's not telling me how to trade, it's data. That's all this is. It's one of my favorite places for data. That's all this is. S&P 500 kind of trading out sideways. NASDAQ basically trading out sideways. Dollar strength, dollar index, I would say that's still trading out sideways. Dow Jones Industrial Average, again, trading out sideways. Russell 2000 trading out sideways. We've had another bank blow up. We've had 4 banks blow up, or I believe now, and the government is kind of like, at least the Federal Reserve is kind of signaling that they might go back into quantitative easing, which that's good for everybody who wants cheap credit. For everybody else, you're about to get ripped off. Stocks, AMD finally found a ground floor. Apple down a little bit. Amazon up a little bit. Tesla taking another tear back down. Netflix seems to have found a temporary floor. Meta with... if people think that the next federal... the Fed chair meeting might signal for no interest rate hikes on the next one. That might be why, because like, again, Meta, this is Facebook, Instagram, all that stuff, right? They make money with marketing. If companies cannot get cheap credit, they can't increase a marketing budget. So if they are allowing marketing budget coming in, that's a good thing. Otherwise, Meta just found a floor for the time being. Meta is very much dependent on other companies looking to do business with them. Without that, the company has no other product. It doesn't do anything. It doesn't have any other function other than allowing you to talk to your aunts and uncles and stuff like that. Crypto market, it's down a little bit. Bitcoin still down. Ethereum down. Bitcoin dominance down a little bit, but that will cause some of the crypto dominance to come up, but Ethereum dominance is also down. But we're talking very nominal amounts for Bitcoin dominance. What's up? Ooh, my dude. What's up, my man? But we can go ahead and talk about things that we really care about. So, we are doing exactly what I was talking about the other day, like the last few weeks. We're going to be sitting here doing this awesome little wave. We are tightening up. It broke out down a little bit. We'll have to see where that floor is. The wick of the day is higher than the wick of yesterday. But the candle body itself is still put in a lower low, and we have put in a lower high. So that means that we should trend another day tomorrow, unless we get a reversal sign coming up tomorrow. I think that, there is another potential more downside action here. So it... Oh, you're too funny, Rude. You are too funny. So, it's like... And you can see that the MA200... it has crossed over, and with it crossing over, that does signal bearish sentiment. So there is a potential that we may retest down to this $24,000 Bitcoin. Very big possibility. Or we will see a small resistance at that $27,000 mark, and then we'll definitely see a rebound from here. So if we rebound off that $27,000 mark, we are just basically completing a wave. We're in wave form trading sideways. And it'll bounce out here. If it waves down to the 27,000 and starts popping back up, we can now call that our new support level. If it drops down to the $24,000 level, $25,000 level, that means that this was basically a bull fake out, going back into bearish sentiment. I mean, if you zoom out guys, we are still in an upward trend. No matter how you look at it, we are still in this upward. Oh, I didn't switch back. Sorry. But we are in this upward channel still, no matter how you look at it. Right? But if you really zoom out, let me see if I can get all of this onto one page here, because it's like peaked out so high. We are still in a bear market. If you look at it from the all-time high, because realistically, this is still bear market territory. If you look at it from peak to peak. Now, if you look at it from the, what the median price should be at, then you're looking that we are slightly in bear territory. We are still bull run territory, because the median price range should be around 22,000, 23,000. So I believe we are still in a great spot. I'm still very bullish. What's up, Xavier Arrow? What's going on? Long time no see. Rude. You did not. Good question. I love it. I also did touch on this right when I started the stream too, but I will reiterate because you kind of slid in not as I started. But I've been doing yard work. I was swinging around a 20-pound sledgehammer, driving in stakes today. Yo, I feel like I got a great workout building a 3 compost bins, so that I can put the greens and the browns into the one side, let that start to break down. When it breaks down, you flip it over into the other bin, let that break down, and then when you flip it over into the last bin, it should be all organic material. Yeah. So that's pretty much how I kind of do my how I'm going to be doing the composting stuff. But because I did all of that, that was a pretty good upper body shoulder workout. So I'm going to pick it up tomorrow morning because I don't have anything else to do except for watering everything. That's super simple. Love it. So thank you for asking, Rude. Love it. And I will be doing a video showing the property off for everything that I've done, transforming a lot of the property into usable garden space. Adding in a front flower box up on here that it's also good for gardening, and I moved like 6 yards of dirt. You do it with heavy water. I'm not sure what you mean by that, Rude. Do it with heavy water. I'm not sure what that means. Unless you're talking about the play on words with pounds, I don't know what the conversion of like a 20 pounds to let's see here. Just a little over 9 kilos. For you European people. No, I don't know what heavy water is. I've never heard of heavy. Let me look that up. Let me see here. I've never heard of this. Heavy water. No, not using heavy water. No, I was like looking it up. I saw that it was heavy water. No, I don't think I want radiated water. I don't need nuclear powered water. Sit there and have like freaking radishes that like look up and like start talking to me. Nah, I'm all good. Like you never know what that stuff does to you long term. But anyway, uh, getting back to this. So we are definitely looking at 3 buying zones. Basically, if you think about it, right? I mean, this is how my brain works. I mean, you can call me crazy if you want, though. Each one of these X's represents a selling point. So the last one was what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So like a week's worth of drops. So we can sit there and basically complete this cycle with another 2-day drop. And then kind of see where it is in the next 2 days. And if it starts to, if on the second day we get an indecisive market, that shows bullish sentiment and getting back out. We should start like oscillating, and I don't think we are done with the oscillation here. I just wish that we would start oscillating a little higher and a little higher, but we have put in 3 tops, and each one has been lower than the next. So I'm not sure how much momentum that the bears can have in the market versus bulls. Not sure. We'll see how this one's going to play out. You never know. Heavy water may contain extra minerals. Yeah. Extra cancer materials. I'm not wanting to use the potential cancers. You grow on your own property to get rid of the cancers. Because if it comes in a big box office store, there's reduced nutrition in it. And if it comes in a box, it's a product, not food. A box or a bag. That's a product, not food. And you want to see something that's kind of interesting as a product here? NVIDIA with an 8103 GPU die set for the 4070. So we've got Kryptonite, Kimmy, Known Leaker, has confirmed that we're going to see a RTX 4070 with an 8103. We're not sure which variation of the 8103 it's going to be. If you think about it, the numbering on the 80, whatever the 10, the last number is how much of the die set signification. I'm not sure what in-house percentage that's going to mean to NVIDIA, but it's the amount of the chip die that is actually in there. So like an 8100 is going to be a full die. An 8101, 102, 103, 104, 105, those are going to be cut down cores. I'm not sure. Like I said, I don't know what the percentages of it is. It might differ from chip batch to chip batch. I'm not sure, but it looks like we are getting a bigger die set for the RTX 4070 to be announced. We don't have a SKU quite yet for it. We don't know what the L2 cache is. It's still going to be at least limited to 5,888 CUDA cores, just like the 8104 for the 4070 that's currently being utilized, that or will be currently being utilized for this. Did you hear about those composting digesters? Oh yeah, I've seen some of that where people like trap the fermentation gases off of them. Never. I don't know if I've got enough room per se to do something like that. Because like I've seen a few people doing that and they trap it in a bag and stuff like that. I was like, oh, that's kind of interesting. But yeah, I don't know if I've got enough because of how I've got my stalls ran. I don't think I can do it. Cool down some mining rigs with trash. Yeah, but it's how you start the composting section. I don't have enough property to do it big enough to. I'd have to look into it. I will look into it just for your concept, just so that I can run the numbers and see if it's something feasible that can be done here. Versus, let's say, utilizing solar panels, right? It's interesting stuff. I did see it though. I know what you're talking about. I'll look into it for you, my man. Like I seen it in a 205 liter oil vat. Nice. Yeah, I'll look into it. That's all I could say. But I have seen it. So we can say that with the 8103 die set on here, that the memory side with the 192-bit bus width, that's underrated for the memory that they're giving you. They're giving you less they're giving you a little bit more gigabytes per second versus the 3070. But with the memory being cut down, that's going to be a nominal gain in the long run. PCIe Gen 4x16 still. Same pricing, just not sure when that's going to be officially released. It's to be determined still, but it'll be a 8103 die, so you have the potential maybe. Can it be BIOS modded? Can you get the full potential of an 8103 die? Would NVIDIA be good enough to actually lock out that core? We'll have time will tell on that one for sure. But again, this should be in my opinion, with the way that this card is, it should still be a $499 card, new. They did not really give you anything extra to warrant another $100 on the card. It's like, I don't care about the ray tracing. Ray tracing is not going to give you enough of an uplift. Sorry. So, gaming wise, nominal. Mining wise, I don't see anything different between the two cards. So I guess whichever one's cheaper, which would be the 3070, of course, especially on the used market, because of course, mining is back down to damn near break even right now. So a lot of people are selling rigs again. I love bear markets. I love bear market mining. It sucks when you're trying to run a business, though. It's like, oh, that hurts. Oh, but whatever. And for anybody who does any video editing at all, this is going to interest you. AV1 encoding for AMD users. It is not just from Intel. AV1 encoder. It is now going to be the AMD users. So, you don't have a good enough CPU to be able to run the rendering process quickly off of your machine, but you got a good newer GPU, you can now use the AV1 encoding off your GPU and get a lot faster with your rendering speed. This is pretty much going to help out those who have a better GPU in their machine than they do a CPU. If you are one that has upgraded into a good CPU and still have room to upgrade more, like myself, I have my Threadripper. I've still got the 2nd gen Threadrippers that I can still upgrade into. I can render 1080p 20-minute video 5 minutes. I'm pretty damn happy about that. My last computer, 20-minute video, 1080p, 9 hours. That's the difference. But you're also talking about a computer that's now almost 15 years old. I would expect, actually, no, that computer is 15. That's a 15-year-old computer now. Holy cow, time flies. But it's like with that PC being so old, 4-core, AMD Athlon Phenom 4-core processor that got modded so that it was basically a 6-core, but it ran really hot, and I was really happy with it. I had a really baller cooler on there, so it ran nice. I had no issues with it until I realized I couldn't stream on YouTube with it, and that's when I got the whole Threadripper setup on here. But just go get a bucket of cow manure and just start it. Well, anyways, just funny alternative. Yeah, for sure, Xavier. I will definitely look into it and see what kind of room it takes. Because I don't have a farm. I've got maybe a 1/4 acre. What a big room! I'll be here tomorrow working out. I'll be back. I swear. I got to get back into it, big room. You know it. But I have been working out around the house. So it's not like I've been sitting around doing nothing, though. So, yo. So, I mean, if you guys have good GPUs and you guys are wanting to do videos, this might help you out. But if you are trying to if you're trying to live stream and you got a lackluster CPU, it's not going to work to your advantage, guys. I found that out the hard way whenever I started this whole adventure back in 2018. So my first videos that I tried to do live looked like it would literally stutter. You would hear the video, my audio came through perfect, but the video, holy cow, my video encoder was garbage on that CPU for today's standards. Now, not so much of an issue. I'm happy about it now. But this would help out any of you guys that are trying to do video editing and stuff like that. Something else that would also help you guys out a little bit, maybe, if the price is right, only if the price is right, right? AMD Radeon 7600 GPUs. Imminent launch confirmed by retailers. So we have them. Sapphire Pulses, 8 gigabytes of that GDDR6. It's not X memory. That's an NVIDIA thing. So we should be looking at 32 core CUDA cores. 2048 FP cores, So that's going to be pretty nice for a 7600 XT variation. Boost clocks should be right around 2.6-ish gigahertz. Just because it can boost up higher does not mean that you're going to get more performance. It just means that the frequency between the frequency of the core and the frequency of the memory step up in such a way that it can reach that and be stable still. But you will get less performance than the 7700 XT, even under boost clocks. They should be within margin of each other, but enough of a difference. On a 128-bit bus still, the Infinity Cache, 32 megabytes of Infinity Cache on there. And we should be seeing this pretty soon. This will be on the 5 nanometer RDNA 3 architecture. So you'll get all of the benefits just on a cut down core here. And hopefully for a reasonable price. It's like, I don't know about you guys, but I'm tired of these GPU manufacturers like overcharging in a market that cannot handle their gouging. I mean, you gotta like they gotta remember that Ethereum's mining is done. So there's not as big of a demand in the GPU market for mining with GPUs at this particular moment. And that there's not that many people that need a GPU. You know, it's like you're trying to convince those who have already purchased a GPU to buy a new one. You know, it's like, so they've got to sit there and make some enticing prices. And even for a 7900 XT, $899, I would be looking at maybe $750. $899 on the 7900 XTX. You know what I'm saying? That, and even then, that's still overpriced, but it's more enticing. But what do I know? I'm just a boob tuber, right? What do we know here? I do know one thing. This is why I don't mess with poop coins. And I don't get on the hype gravy trains on anything. I don't care how much people, oh, I can make all this money. Because this can very easily happen. Pepe's sudden drop leaves a whale $500,000 in the red. Yo. Meme Whale purchased roughly $3 million worth of that Pepe token just days ago. It's now sitting on unrealized loss of around $600,000, guys. This is why I tell people you play in the poop coin market, you're gambling. And we try not to completely gamble here, guys. It's not something that I would ever recommend anyone to do. You know, if you're gonna gamble with money you don't care about losing. That is always the word of the day. But this whale purchased around $2.46 million worth. Oh god, with wrapped Bitcoin and 200. Oh, how's this math work adding up here? And okay, so he purchased the Pepe with 70 wrapped Bitcoin and 470 ETH in the past 2 days, with an average buying price of too many zeros. He has lost $541,000 at current price. That's why we don't play in the poop market like that. I hope that guy was like really rich and it didn't matter, and he didn't just blow all of the gains that he has gotten since he's been into crypto, and now he has to go get a day job. Just saying. Hopefully that's not what this guy has just done. And one of the last things here before we just start talking about GPU profitability here. Binance FUD meets CPI. 5 things to know about Bitcoin this week, right? The one thing that I took away on this one is the whole Binance CEO calls FUD amongst Bitcoin withdrawal suspensions. The latter has halted the Bitcoin withdrawals 3 times since the weekend, citing congestion on the Bitcoin network. It wasn't really it was congestion on the Bitcoin network because people were trying to move those ordinals, those Bitcoin ordinals, the NFTs on Bitcoin, and they take too much block space. So you try moving around a few of those, and the miners are really happy, but the users aren't, because it usually drives up how many satoshis per byte you're going to be paying. And that's the problem that kind of really happened over the weekend, is it got really expensive to move any kind of Bitcoin around, because people were trying to move those junky freaking NFTs that have nothing other than to show that they can mess up a network by moving something through the network that was never intended to be able to. The network was never designed to handle this, and now they're trying to push for big blocks. It's like, you want big blocks, take your damn NFT and go over to B-Trash. That's where the big block war happened. Bitcoin's Bitcoin and will stay at the size that it is right now, which means that every time people want to move these damn NFTs across there, it's going to junk the network up. They've got people who've had their NFT, their ordinals kind of frozen in time. So very interesting on that. But as the Binance halts on trading and stuff like that, we are looking at how centralized entities will react in situations like this. Now, some of this, just to be fair to Binance, right? They don't hold all of their coin readily available to, how can I put this? Like, for the exchange to be able to utilize. So they got a hot wallet and a cold wallet, right? So every time they halted transactions, it was them waiting on them getting funds from their cold wallet over to the hot wallet. So during those times, you might have seen your funds get denied. But the same stuff has happened on Coinbase, Kraken, Gemini, where during certain times, you'll see the centralized exchanges shutting down the movement of Bitcoin or crypto through their exchange, because of the fact that they cannot keep up with demand. It's just like going to your bank and you're going, hey, I need 10 grand. And the bank says, come back at the end of the week. That's just the way everything works when you're dealing with centralized entities. Oh man, my allergies are kicking my eyes butt today. I cut the lawn. It's like getting that foggy, cloudy vision. Like eyes burning from it. Wow. My sinuses are all clogged up too. So we have seen the TX get as high as 586 sats per byte. That would be like a $20 transaction for $100. It's like, same here, bro. I feel your pain. It's like all of a sudden I'm like looking and it looks like I'm seeing through cloudy contacts. It's like, but 586 sats per byte. an insane amount of sats per byte. So in those times of transactions, it's great for the miners. So if you're mining Bitcoin, you're getting paid a little better. But if you are looking at it from a user, you might want to hold off transactions for a little bit until the sats per byte lowers. I mean, I've sat there and sent transactions at 1 Satoshi per byte. It took 8 hours for it to confirm through the mempool. If I were to do that right now, it would probably take like a week or two for it to clear through the mempool. And this will cause Bitcoin price fluctuations too. Whenever you see congestion, we haven't seen congestion like this for for 7-8 years, something like that. So we'll see how this works. I'm sure that the Bitcoin dev team is looking into what's going on and if there is a possible solution that they can come up with. And big blocking it is not the solution, because you go big block, you're going to run out of mempool space. It's got a 500 gigabyte allocation. We need to make sure that we pay mindful to that. Otherwise, we're going to constantly fork it and change it, and it's not going to be Bitcoin anymore. And I think that's what the devs are trying to do, is trying to keep intact the purity of what Bitcoin is. And I'm totally for it. I'm just saying. But I think it's just because of the Bitcoin ordinals, we're seeing some of these higher prices right now for Satoshis per byte. Should, in my opinion, come down at some point. But I believe that it is the ordinals that are causing this little mini event here, and there are a few other people that believe the same thing. And because those transactions are high, it's causing even Binance to sit there and hold off trying to do transactions, because they're sitting there and they have a top threshold of where they're willing to pay per Satoshi per byte to get their transactions. And if that means that it's coming in below what it takes to get it in a normal time frame, then it's going to take a little bit extra time, which means they're going to have to shut down your transaction until their transaction finally clears the mempool. And that's what I think where Binance is trying to say we have mempool congestion that is causing them to have to halt movement of the coins. Because remember, you guys, when you're looking at your accounts on these centralized exchanges, you're getting a number that is associated with how much Bitcoin you have, but it's not there. In terms of services, the Bitcoin's theirs. They are in, possessions 9/10 of the law type of deal. Yeah, they own it. What up, Gandhi? Stuffing things. Yo, what's up, my dude? Everybody, certainly smash that Lizzity a like button, subscribe, hit the bell notification, all that good stuff, guys. Yo. So, I mean, but at the same time, this is some of the reasons why I say don't leave your crypto on exchanges. Does it mean that Binance doesn't have the crypto? No. And even when I was dogging on Binance for halting transactions, I also know that they're a centralized entity, and they never keep everything on hand. Same thing with the banks. They never keep everything on hand. So you try to grab money off of them, they ain't got it. Just like you try to grab your Bitcoin off of them, they ain't got it. And if too many people try to grab the Bitcoin off of them, they ain't got it. So now you're at the mercy of them trying to get their crypto shuffled around so that they can fulfill your order. Not that they're going to deny you of your funds or whatever. It's just that they've got to move everything around because it's smart on them to keep everything in the majority into a couple of cold wallets. From a business standpoint, it makes sense. Never put all your apples in one basket. Unless you only have one apple, then it only goes into one basket. But that's a different topic, right? We're talking about Binance here. So they're going to break this up into multiple wallets here for safety reasons. Just in case something stupid happens, it doesn't happen to everything that they have. It's good business practice. I like it. And knowing that they were halting transactions, it's probably more online because of this. 586 sats per byte. Let's say they were only willing to pay 200 sats per byte. How many hours did that tack on for them to get their transactions through the network? Is that the congestion they were talking about? More than likely. So outside of that, I'm not going to sit there and dog on them for that, because it's not like they got hacked or something nefarious happened. It was just merely trying to move their own funds through the network, and it wasn't having it. So it's one of the drawbacks of using a centralized exchange and holding your crypto there, that this is an issue you may run into. Yes, Xavier. I mine and I get paid out in Litecoin. So I mine poop coins on Zurich Pool, and I get paid out in Litecoin. For that reason, it's fast and it's always low fees. With that being said, look at the total user base and look at the total movement on chain versus the size of data. And that's some of what the problem that Bitcoin's having right now is because of these BRC20 protocols causing they're trying to move these ordinals through the network, and the network was never designed to have this running on it. This was like a forced abomination on top of Bitcoin. And I'm not sure what they're trying to do by utilizing the ordinals. You can't. It's censorship resistant, I guess. So you can't stop it now. But yeah. Oh yeah. It's like I wonder if there's a way to recode the BRC20. Not to get rid of it, but to recode it so that it is a more efficient protocol, because it is not good for the Bitcoin network. Everybody, this is great for Bitcoin. I was like, nope, this is gonna be junk. And now we get to see the backside of it. Yay! But as far as Litecoin, I do a lot of stuff through Litecoin myself. For the load transactions, the halving, I mined through the last halving on Litecoin, and it will take off some of the miners off the network. Will those miners get more efficient hardware? Depends on where they were sitting at. If they were all, basically with the next halving, unless you have sub 2 cent per kilowatt hour power, and L3++ does not make sense to run. That's just the bottom line on it. Unless there's a massive bull run and we see $1,000 Litecoin, yeah, the L3++s are going to be dead once the halving happens. And I do like the idea that in Litecoin's lifetime, it has a 100% uptime. Bitcoin can't even say that. Bitcoin actually had a glitch in its system very early on in its life that people don't talk about either. that Bitcoin was not perfect from the beginning, but it was also groundbreaking technology that, it's like I can give them a pass because they were doing something that the world had never seen before. You're bound to have a bug or two. That's just the way I look at it. And Litecoin being basically Bitcoin implementation. Yo, what up, Dakota Miner? Late to the party. Yo, what up, my dude? Don't forget to smash that Lizzie like button. I'm just saying. Hash rate went bunkers. It doubled up in the last 2 years. Yeah, because the price was going up. So if the price goes up and the miners get better, you're going to see a doubling of the hash rate. But after a halving, a halving usually knocks off between 15 to 35% of the mining network. And I will account that to being older hardware that's no longer profitable. You'll see it being that same old hardware being deployed, but in very, very, very small numbers after a certain point. So, yeah. I mean, like I said, I had L3++s. I had... How many of those things did I have? Oh, my God. I had like 14 L3++s at one point in time in the house. Yeah, I kind of went a little bonkers with it. But I love the simplicity of ASIC deployment. I'm not going to deny it. The ASIC deployment is so much easier. Just saying. And last but not least, let's dive right on into it. Profitability, guys, 11 cents per kilowatt hour. That's what I've got up on here, guys. Are you profitable at 11 cents per kilowatt hour? It's like the average. And if I really wanted to make it more of an accurate average, we can just make it 12 cents a kilowatt hour. Let's just make it 12 cents. This way we can hit the national average, because the national average in the United States is 12 cents per kilowatt hour. And let's dive down to where it's not profitable. Or, I should say, where do you break even? If you have a NVIDIA RTX 2070, you're breaking even. If you have an RTX 2080, you are breaking even. If you have a 3070 Ti in a laptop, you are breaking even. If you have a 3050, you're breaking even. If you have a P106-100, an old GPU, you're breaking even. What are the hardware that you're not really making money on now? Let's see here. RX 5500 XT, a 1060, a 5600 XT, a 5700, a 1050 Ti, you're losing 6 cents a day. I've got my 580s off, guys, so don't worry. And I don't pay 12 cents a kilowatt hour. But this thing would be losing me 6 cents per GPU. On the 580s, I have 8 of them. I mean, that adds up quick. 6 cents in the hole. If you have a 1080 Ti, I have these, but I'm not paying 12 cents a kilowatt hour where they're sitting at. You'd be losing 9 cents a day, guys. Ouch. Ouch. I've got 5 of these. Ouch. That adds up, 30 days in a month times 5 of these, you're 18, 36, 45 cents a day times 30, you're almost $15 a month in the hole, almost, A 1070 Ti, you'd be losing 10 cents a day at 12 cents a kilowatt hour. Uh, so I mean, where when you get up above here, where you're no longer breaking even. If you had one 7900 XT and you were making a penny a day, would you bother mining? I'd probably be turning my stuff off. Same thing with this. I mean, I turned my 580s off when they were only making a penny a day each. Those GPUs turned off. Now, was it still a penny a day? Is a penny a day in profit? But it was almost all the crypto is being sold to pay for the electric. And you're losing money on the exchange side. So you got to remember that. When you're exchanging out, you start losing money. So keep that in mind, fellas. Question on ASIC. What ASIC for home mining, Bitcoin, low wattage, low cost, and good hash rate for long-term mining? Ooh. I would say like the S9, really. It's older hardware. It can still be run on 110, so you don't have to have the 240 requirement. I would recommend 240, but you can still power those up on a 110 outlet. But, it's like, it's going to be good hash rate per wattage, but depending on what your residential power is. Now, if you can do it on solar, but it takes a pretty big solar area to keep one hash board going. So you're talking about a lot of infrastructure and solar to have the S9, but if you've already got it, I would definitely be mining on it. But overall, I would be saying, your S9 would be a good spot at your house. They make great heaters. The other thing that you can do is a grid seed miner. These are old hardware again, 65 watts, very, very low hash rate. I call this my lottery ticket. So this thing solo mines, and if it hits a block, it's my lottery ticket. Yo, what up, Tech Man? Good evening, my rig runners. We'll hook it up. Yeah, otherwise you're looking at like USB miners, but those are old and outdated at this point. Otherwise you're looking at going into your S19s. Your S17, but you want to do the S17Ts. And not any of the other ones. You want to do the last generation of the S17s and not anything previous. Otherwise, the S19 and the S19J Pros, but you got to have 220. Automatic Beats, what's up? What up? So, I hope that kind of helps answering some questions for you, Dakota Miner. But as we're sitting here looking along on this, a 3080 at 12 cents a kilowatt hour, you're making 2 cents a day. Is it worth running your rigs for 2 cents a day? Now, if you're at home and you've only got a few of these, sure, $100, $200 electric bill on this stuff, and you're keeping the crypto, that's cool. You're doing $100, $200 worth of this stuff, and you're selling all the crypto, and you're only keeping 2 cents out of that crypto. Would it be better spent to have just purchased Bitcoin instead of using an electric bill? Possibly. And remember, I turned my 3080s off. I mean, not my 3080s. My 580s, my RX 580s got turned off when they were making a penny a day each. 8 cards was making 8 cents a day. I've got to look at it differently because of the business standpoint. It's got to be able to pay the electric bill. If I can't pay the electric bill, there's no point in running them. That's just my thoughts on it, okay? RX 6600 XTs, 3 cents a day. Right? So you got 10 of these things, you're making 30 cents a day on this. Yes, it's profit, but is it worth it when your only revenue, your revenue is coming in at 14 cents, and it's costing you 11 cents to run it. So all in on 4060s. I know, right? I don't even think 4060s are on this list. I was surprised on them still having the Vega cards on here. Let's see here. They go as low as 480. 480s, you'd be losing 7 cents a day at 12 cents a kilowatt hour. Audio issues on my stuff. No. I hate when my equipment starts to give me issues. It's like, why? You picked today? You're trying to mess with me? Is that what this is all about? You're messing with me? It's like when you're sitting there and you're looking at the stuff and you're like, God, what, I've got a 3080 Ti. I'm making 5 cents a day if I'm mining all day, right? And you come into it, and if you're, you might be able to make up to 8 cents a day, depending on your computer, right? Let me refresh this. Such stuff changes, okay? So now it's showing that it's making 8 cents a day on this. If you were mining Dynex, you'd be making 5 cents. So Radiant is making more money on a 3080 Ti than it was Dynex. Dynex was making pretty good before. Cortex making it 2 cents. Ironfish, you're losing money. Ergo Radiant, you're losing money. It's just better to just not split your hash rate and go all in on Radiant right now. I'm just saying. True that, Tech Man. That is very true. Again, but you're gambling. And that's where I have to always disclose to people that can be a gamble. $50 can turn into $50,000. 50 cents can turn into to $10,000. I've seen it. It's happened on me. And where coins Xcoin shot up, and I was like, wow, didn't see that one coming. Kind of wish I had a little more of it, but can't go back in time. It is what it is. But again, you have to figure out how you are mining and what your goals are while you're mining. Are you holding on to these coins for future profitability at a later time? Are you looking at just exchanging it right into Bitcoin right away? Are you selling it to pay your bills? These are all questions that are, going to be very viable. Are you saving this up so that you can buy more computer parts? Just saying. So you're going to be looking at, which coins are going to be yielding you a lot. And sometimes I know a lot of people and they do profit bouncing. Sometimes that works. I've had good luck and bad luck doing profit jumping. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. I'm just saying. If you're swapping out into Bitcoin or Litecoin right away, then it works. You have an advantage. But if you're sitting there mining and holding, you're gonna be watching the market highs and lows right along with it. And I don't always recommend that. Uh, but whenever you're like, hey, should I be doing profit switching to begin with? I've got a 3090. It says that I could be on Radiant and I can be making 11 cents. Well, if you're on Alphymium and you're making 4 cents and you're bound to determine you're going to be mining, yeah, I'd be swapping it over to Radiant, right? We come over to the AMD 6800. Let's say you've been mining on Radiant with that because you got a few other NVIDIA cards, and you're like, man, should I be switching over to Ironfish for 4 extra cents a day? Maybe. If it was Alphymium was showing at the top of the list and it was the same profit on the outside, I'm not moving the coin. I'm not moving to coin to coin. If I'm on Grin and I'm not making anything, or on Conceal, I'm not making anything, yes, it's a no-brainer to jump onto a coin that's going to at least give you something of a profit. Something is better than absolutely nothing. But if you're spending, this is a 28, you're looking at 26 cents a day is what you're going to be spending. Ladies, what are you doing over there? You're fighting? I can hear them like starting to get their mature every so often you can hear a couple of them have that chicken squawk versus the little chicken tweet. It's hilarious. And you can tell when they're fighting too. Like somebody invaded somebody's area. But getting back to this, you're looking at very little profit right now, guys. We are all next to break even for the most part, and this is at 11 cents per kilowatt hour right now. I'm showing it even in a better light than I was a second ago because I must have hit back too far. There you go. Here we go. 3080 Ti making 5 cents a day at 12 cents per kilowatt hour. Is it worth me keeping my computer on in mine? With knowing that I've got a full water block system on here with my whole setup on here, I bet you I make no money on this rig. It's probably more beneficial for me to just turn my rig off at night now. My main PC. Probably not worth mining at night. But 5 cents is 5 cents profit, right? But again, I've got, let's see here, 6 fans and a pump. I bet you between the 6 fans and that pump, I'm using more than 5 cents worth of electricity. So that means my main PC makes no money. Now, I'm a home, this is at my house, so does it matter to me? Yes and no. Yes and no. It's more electricity I could save if I could just shut it down. Just saying. Do you guys have the A2000s? It's like the A2000s were a great GPU, but you're making 2 cents a day on it. Let's see here. Let's bring it to here. You were making 2 cents a day at mining Radiant at home electric rates. 2 cents a day. Now this thing's only making bringing in 15 cents worth of revenue total. It's 13 cents a day to run. It's like I keep on bringing it up that because if you've got the more GPUs, that what it costs to run per day starts adding up quick. So that's where people need to make that decision of where they're going to be mining. Are you going to be mining? Do you want to wait until the next bull run? Do you want to take that power that electric you were sitting there and spending and actually, you know what I'm saying? You're going to sit there and turn around and actually utilize a better variation of allocated funds if you are not mining and just buying Bitcoin instead, or getting into whatever poop coin you want to get involved with? Is it worth, because like everybody's going into summertime now. We're going to have cooling costs. We're going to be turning on fans to cool stuff off. We're going to be dropping wattages on things because they're starting to run hot. And as soon as you start doing that stuff, bro, your revenue drops. Yes, your electricity drops a little bit, but you got the offset of all the cooling system still. So kind of keep that in mind, guys. Whenever you're looking at, hey, it's worth mining. Sure, if you're at home miner and you have a few, like one or two rigs at the house, you're looking at maybe $300 worth of electricity, depending on, what GPUs you got. If you got lower wattage ones, it'll be less, but your rewards will also be less. So it's all relative, right? Mining is very capital intensive. With power demands we need to make sure our power usage is as efficient as possible and we're paying the least amount as possible. So would I be recommending people at this point myself to, hey, should I get involved with mining? Let's say if you want to get into it as a hobby a little bit, don't go balls to the wall during a bear market in mining. That before we get into the bull run, make sure it's something you want to deal with. Make sure it's something that you can deal with. For all of us seasoned veterans, we all know this is the time to start building. Even if you don't turn the equipment on, this is the time to build. You buy the equipment, set it off to the side, knowing that as soon as we go into bull run territory, and everybody and their mother's mining, you can turn on the rest of your equipment and go cha-ching. Because everybody was sitting there going, mining is dead. This is the time to not be mining. There's always those two schools of thought. All right, it's like, do you have the means to pay for the electricity out of pocket until it becomes profitable? The answer is no. Then don't get involved with mining and just buy Bitcoin. Buy it at cost and hodl it. Not financial advice, of course, right? So, with that being said, do you guys got any comments or questions before I head up out of here, fellas? Any kind of comments or questions at all? Otherwise, if you don't have any comments or questions, certainly drop some FAs in the Chizity chat, guys, because you guys are rated F for freaking awesome. Yo. Just saying, guys. Definitely, guys, got any comments or questions before I sign up out of here? We are a little over, which is fine. And then tomorrow, I will be back on working out again. Got to get that workout going. I might be on a little bit earlier. I'm not sure. My days have been starting off pretty damn early, and I might just reflect that and get my early morning workout done and over with as early as humanly possible. So if you guys want to sit there and hang out while I'm working out in the morning, stay tuned to your notifications. Make sure you got those notifications turned on so that whenever I decide to go on in the morning, because I was going on previously at 9:30, but man, that junks up the whole morning. I would like to shoot that back a little bit earlier. So I'm thinking maybe 8 o'clock. So I'll see how I feel 8 o'clock in the morning. So I'll probably be between like 8:30, something like that, but I'm shooting for 8. And get my workout going on, guys. So if you guys want to hang out while I'm working out, that'd be awesome. I get it if you can't, it's okay. I'm not gonna have any hurt feelings over it. It's just me doing video while I'm working out. You guys want to hang out, awesome. Otherwise, thank you everybody for being here. Certainly check out the links down below if you haven't done so already. Join the Discord, links down below. It is free to join, guys. Otherwise, if you would like to have your rigs hosted at the Family Mine, certainly join the Patreon, links down below. get into the pseudo hasher tier. This way you got VIP access to the facility for when we get ready for hosting. Still waiting on contracts from the electric company to move forward with all of that stuff. Yeah, we'll see how that goes. I'm going to try to get a hold of this guy again tomorrow. And then dealing with all the tax stuff. So hopefully tomorrow I hear something back from the tax person with what's going on with the company taxes, because this guy screwed up. Not me. I did everything right. This is on the tax preparer. So, yes. Rabble. So with that being said, thank you everybody for being here. Peace out. Stay savage. May your watts be low and your hash be high. I'll see you on the next one. And remember, click off on one of the other videos. Don't just exit this video. Yo, peace.